Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210 District Court Civil Docket for October 26, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Marufo, would you call our first case, please?
On page 1, Judge, in cause number 2020, DCV 3543, Francisco J. Cota and Patricia Cota versus EP Vida LLC. Announcement of council, please.
This is Morgan Broadus for the plaintiffs, Francisco and Patricia Cota. I'm here in behalf of my law partner, Mike Shane, who's in another hearing right now.
Sure. And I see Mr. Hoagland's screen, but I don't see Mr. Hoagland. So maybe we need to wait for him a little bit. Let me look it up. Yes, this is one where I think we've been coming back every so often. Maybe we can come back when Mr. Hoagland is present. Let's go to the next one.
Top of page 3, Judge. In cause number 2020, DCV 0643, Salvador Renteria versus Project Vida. Announcement of council, please.
Eduardo Miranda for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Marisa Ibarra Williams on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
Good morning. Final civil pretrial, but we don't have a trial setting. I know you all were working on things. How are we doing?
So, Judge,
Well, go ahead, Melissa.
I had in my notes that we were looking at trial date of spring 2023. And I thought we had talked about April 7th. Is that one of your trial dates, Judge?
So it would be if it wasn't Good Friday. Did you say April 7th?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Oh, so maybe that was the issue. Okay.
Yes, and maybe let's just, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I said. I know I see an order setting hearing on the 14th of October. In any event, we need a date, huh? Yeah. Okay. What I think there was one other case where this happened. I think when Judge Reyes was covering, and so are you all? Did you all agree on the 7th, or did we just? Is that what you all agreed to? Because my thought is, if there's no conflict, we'll just bump you over to the 14th.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Miranda, is that what you all had discussed?
No, I don't think we had discussed a particular date. I think this is something that the court kind of put out there.
Right.
I don't have any reason to disagree with that date right now.
Okay.
But you know that I've been going back and forth to Houston for medical care.
Yes, sir.
So, subject to that, I think we're okay.
Okay, and I guess my question would be this. Is the case, I guess, in a position to where we can schedule it that soon? Is it feasible unless we have some other circumstance that prevents it? It's ready to go?
Well, we haven't had much discovery done, Judge, and we haven't submitted it to mediation either. So I think at the very least, we ought to explore possible mediation.
Has this case ever been set for trial?
I think we did have a setting, Your Honor.
We do. Okay,
and
so
then
hold on, Ms. Ibarra. In June of 2021, it was set for trial. So we scheduled this since 2020. And then at the beginning of this year, we had a jury trial set. Then again in May. Yeah, so I mean, ideally the case should have been.
Well, so we have been trying to schedule plaintiff's depot once we got his medical records. This is the one that we got. I think the court might remember that we were having issues getting the records from the VA. Then we finally got those records. We have the last set of records that we sent out this summer. And then we were kind of giving Mr. Miranda some time to go through his treatment so we can set plaintiff's depot. And the idea was to set his depot and set mediation. Okay. So we just needed to kind of get those personal issues, medical issues kind of handled so we could do those two things, because I do think it's a case that can get resolved. Perfect. We just needed to get those records, and then now we can proceed to deposition mediation.
So what I think we'll do is we will use that April 14th date, since I'm hearing some, good chance at non-trial resolution. With that, that'll give us a shorter timetable to get that deposition taken care of, and then get the mediation scheduled. So April 14th will be the trial date. Docket calls on the 12th, so that puts us, I think, at the 15th for our final civil pretrial, which will mean your mediation deadline is the 14th of March.
Perfect.
Okay, Myrna, if you can go ahead and get them those settings, the mediation deadline will be, had you all discussed a mediator already?
No, Your Honor, I don't think we have in this case, but
Can you all agree to one now that you know offhand?
Ahead of right now,
Sure.
I
Had you
mean, I
not
think we
ever?
can agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can agree on a mediator. I just don't
Yeah.
have,
do you want to do Mitch or Villa, or did you want someone else?
how about Ancliffe? Is he still doing it?
I think he is.
I'm surprised we hadn't had an agreement since the first scheduling order, unless we've never had a scheduling order. But if you all are in agreement, Ancliffe it is. If that changes, please let us know. We'll get you the settings, okay?
No problem, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And again, if you need anything outside of those dates and a hearing on anything, just also send us your pleading with your request for hearing.
Thank you, Judge.
Take
Thank you, Your
care.
Honor.
Thank you,
Thank
Ms. Ibarra. Who's next?
Going back to page 1, Judge,
Mhm.
in cause number 2020 DCV 3543, Francisco J. Cota and Patricia Cota versus EP Vida LLC. Announcement of council, please.
Morgan brought us for plaintiff Francisco and Patricia Cota.
Mr. Hoagland, you're muted.
Am I still muted?
Can hear you now.
Okay. Corey Hoagland for defendant EP Vida LLC.
Okay, so we're at another status conference. How are we doing?
Judge, I signed on and then I went back to my computer because I figured my client would send me an email update and has. If I could read it, both plaintiff's counsel and you may decide how you want to proceed here.
Sure.
Corey, we have Scott Hulse working with the city attorney to finalize the only outstanding item in the city term sheet. The outstanding item is a schedule and definition of the documents to be submitted to the city from the EP Vida lender. We plan to submit the revisions to the city term sheet based on the process and schedule presented by our lender. We are coordinating with the lender to provide the information to Scott Hulse this week to be forwarded to the city attorney to help them to understand the lender's schedule for providing the financing documents the city desires to request in the term sheet. The current schedule in the city term sheet was not in accordance with the typical process and schedule required by lenders. We anticipate the review by the city and agreement by the city to take at least a couple of weeks. Once agreed, the Economic Development Department will place the term sheet on the city council agenda for approval. The approval will permit the development of the ground lease and other development agreements. We anticipate it will take about 6 months to obtain the financing once the agreements are executed by EP Vida in the city. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Do you have any? Thank you, Mr. Hoagland. Mr. Broadus, do you have any input or
The
response?
little I know about this case, Your Honor, what I've been told is the parties are working towards a favorable resolution to keep costs down for both parties.
Sure. Yeah.
We're good.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding.
Mr. Broadus, could you maybe get a little closer to the mic? Thanks.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor, it's my understanding that the parties are working towards a resolution. What Mr. Hoagland just read to the court probably will help that. The only thing we ask is if the court does decide to set a trial date today, to please do it after mid-August of next year, because that's Mr. Shane's first available date.
So I think we've kind of been holding off on setting a trial date. Are you all asking me to do that right now? Because my thought is to do this. Honestly, we've been at status conferences, final civil pretrials, what have you, for a while, but I think I understand what's going on. Right now, if we I could schedule a trial probably around August, but it's not going to give me any heartache to set this for a status in January 2023. And at that point, if we are on track, great. If we are not, then I feel comfortable I could give you a trial date by the end of the year, maybe the beginning of 2024. So I think I could still fit you all in, is my point. I'm not real concerned about that. But if you want the trial setting, I'm happy to schedule it now.
Your Honor, we're fine with you passing it, as you said, until early January for another
Okay.
status conference.
Let's do a status again, just to review. Let me see, let me get on the right calendar. I'll say January 25th, at 10 a.m. At that point, I think we should probably secure a trial date, even if it's a year down the road, just to keep things on track, because maybe 2023 is going to be a busier trial calendar. So, all right, gentlemen, anything else?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Nothing,
Thank
Your
you
Honor.
very
We'll
much.
do it.
You may take care. Who's next?
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Second one on page 2, Judge. Page 3,
Mm-hmm.
in cause number 2021 DCV 3865, Linda Olivas versus Priscilla Lucia Reyes. Announcement of council, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Jesus de Luna, counsel for plaintiff Linda Olivas, present.
Josh Stradabaugh for the defendant.
Good morning. Let me see. I'm just pulling this one up. We have it set for a status conference, notation, need court setting, but then I see a notice of non-suit, but I haven't opened it. Where are we, gentlemen?
It has been resolved, Your Honor, and we have submitted the order. I guess we just need the order of non-suit signed.
Okay. Myrna, did we have that already? I see it in Odyssey, but I don't know that it was forwarded. Did you receive it?
I haven't seen the order, Judge.
Yeah, I think it's attached there with the notice of non-suit. Okay, so let me look at it. It's settled and we've got the non-suit, then we're good to go. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Perfect.
you,
Thank
Judge.
you, Your Honor.
Take care.
Thank you.
Myrna, if you will email me the order on the non-suit. Okay, who's next?
Bottom of page 3, Judge.
Mhm.
In cause number 2021 DCV 3996, Paseo del Este Municipal Utility District Number 1 versus the City of El Paso, Texas through El Paso Water Utilities Public Service Board. Announcement of council, please.
Harold Davis on behalf of the plaintiff, Paseo Municipal Utility District.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Stephen Weller on behalf of the El Paso Water Utilities Public Service Board. Your Honor, we also have EP Water Assistant General Counsel Patricia Borshaw in the hearing. Good morning. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Ms. Borshaw. Good to see you. All right, let me see. Status conference, but we just had our scheduling order entered not too long ago, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, you're
Harold
right.
Davis,
Go
Harold
ahead.
Davis, Your Honor. I think that's the confusion. I think we were asking for a scheduling order hearing. You gave us a status hearing and signed the scheduling order, but I think we're on track at this point.
Yeah, that's what I see as well. And maybe the setting was leftover, but with the scheduling order in, then we just, I didn't compare those against what the settings are, but as long as those are the settings, Myrna, we have jury trial in July of 2023, then I think we're good to go. We will not, okay, the notation was parties to discuss trial date with court, but I guess we have that taken care of. We're not gonna see you again until May 2023 on this case. That's not usually how I do things, but.
I'm sure you'll see us before then, Judge.
Yeah, Your Honor, if I may, we had
Sure.
requested a status conference before the court because this case has been pending for a little while, but the parties have been trying to, we held a mediation with a SOA mediator, Your Honor, to see if we could work out the issues. And it's something that we just wanted to put on your radar because there may be matters coming before you. So I won't take much of the court's time, but just to give you a little thumbnail of the case, it's a water rate dispute, Your Honor. El Paso Water provides water and sewer services to Paseo del Este. is located in Southwest El Paso. In April of 21, EP Water implemented some rate updates and that applied to wholesale customers, all the wholesale customers. The second one that we felt brought PDE in line with what other wholesale customers pay. PDE disputes those rates, taking the position that they're inconsistent with the wholesale contract between the parties. The utility disagrees with that position. What we wanted to kind of make the court aware of is that PDE implemented a 14% rate increase, and they're charging those increased rates to their users, but they're not paying the funds over to the utility. So what that does is, the PDE is one of the 10 largest customers in the city. So the funds that are being withheld from payment have grown to a pretty large amount. I think they exceeded $1.5 million at this point, which has an effect on the utilities operation and maintenance budget and their ability to, what the funds they have available. So what we wanted to do was just make the court aware of of where we are with this, that we've got a trial date in July of next year, which we think is a realistic date, as long as the parties can get going on discovery. But I wanted to just make the court generally aware of the case, that it's important. It involves two public entities. You have users on the one end, the PDE users, and you have the utility on the other, who is providing water service to PDE and is not recovering all the funds that we're expending to provide that service. So what I wanted to advise the court is, to this point, we've been participating as a defendant while we worked out, to try to see whether mediation would work. What the utility is going to be doing in the very near future, filing counterclaims and participating as a plaintiff, because we've not been paid what we believe we're owed under the contract. So just wanted to advise the court that they're, and the court coordinator had been very helpful in giving us a status conference. So I think we'll be ready to go in July, but we'd like to try to work towards that date as best we can.
Okay, so with that, I was just thank you for the update, Mr. Weller. I want to make sure that Myrna, for that July 14th setting, we need to make that a specially set trial date. Now, let's kind of just go with the idea that we will be going on that date. I don't know if we've already made requests for panels. Mr. Marufo, we need to make the request to have commissioner's court so that we don't have to have multiple panels. Not that I think we would need a whole lot, but I just want to make sure that we're not in a situation where either, we request a courtroom size panel, and then for whatever reason we have, too many no-shows or some other circumstance, everybody's on summer vacation. I don't know, people don't show up. I don't want to risk that. I want to ensure as best possible that if we have that set, there's no other cases, and that we have sufficient panel members if we need to go.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and make a notation, Myrna, not to set any other cases on that date. So yell at me if I even try and do that today, because
Yes, ma'am.
I
Thank you,
say
Your Honor.
things and then I forget. Is there any need to, I know you guys are probably going to come back. Y'all are making me a little bit nervous. Do I need to bring you in January?
That would not hurt, Your Honor.
Gosh, I'm almost tempted now to bring you in like every month. So let's do January. We'll do January 25th as well. If I don't hear from you all before then, we'll do a status conference at 10 a.m. on the 25th of January.
Sounds good.
And I'll leave it like that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for
All
your
right.
time this morning, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Appreciate the update. Take care, guys. Ms. Borshak, good to
Thank
see you.
you.
again. Take care. Who's next?
Top of page 4, Judge.
Okay.
In cause number 2022 DCV 0709, Andrew Martin Squire et al. Versus unknown heirs et al. Announcement of council, please.
Your Honor, David Lutz for the plaintiff. Good morning, Judge. Jessica Mendez, appointed attorney ad litem for the unknown heirs.
Good morning. Give me 1 second just to get out of this case and go to your case. I know we're set for a default hearing today. I see an amended petition filed yesterday. Can you, before we go on any of the default, where are we? There was an answer on the 19th.
And Your Honor, Ms. Mendez and I have agreed to a stipulated judgment. I emailed Ms. Hernandez the judgment this morning. I believe we're all set to wrap up this case. It's a quiet title suit and a little bit factually complicated, but not something that I don't think was ever going to be disputed.
Okay. Ms. Mendez, can you tell me a little bit about, I guess, how we're getting to whatever this agreed judgment is going to be?
Sure, and I'm probably going to ask David for some assistance, but it's my understanding that the property that's at issue, it had failed to transfer from one property owner to the other when some of the property owners died. But the surviving heir, there's only one surviving heir. And the reason Mr. Lutz filed an amended answer, Judge, is because one of the most recent individuals just passed away this month. So I think Mr. Lutz is probably in a better position to speak about the amended petition, but ultimately my goal or my role was to establish if there was any unknown heirs that possibly had any interest in this real property that is before the court. And based on my research, there's no other surviving heirs to my knowledge.
Ms. Mendez, did you file any type of report or email one over?
I have not, Judge, other than speaking to plaintiff's counsel. I have not done a formal report, but I could do that as soon as I get off the hearing. I did have some email communications with David because I also needed some clarification, Your Honor, but in regards to that, I could go ahead and do that.
Okay, how about we do this, Mr. Lutz? What I would like to do is, and I mean, maybe there's a little bit of a rush, but I'm not going to push you, Ms. Mendez, to get it today. I'm thinking, you know, if we can do it within 2 weeks, as soon as everything is turned in, and this is what I want to look at. Ms. Mendez's report, the proposed judgment, and it'll give me a chance to go ahead and just look at these last entries, the answer and the amended petition. And I'll have it set in 2 weeks, although my thought is it's just going to be a reminder for me if I haven't already looked at it and signed off on the judgment to do so. So I don't, unless you all are asking for it be heard on the record again, I just assume go off of whatever you all provide.
That would be great.
Okay.
Ms. Mendez, if you have any questions, just shoot them my way and I'll get you what you need.
Yes, sir.
So let me see. Let's do the 9th. Yeah, so we'll do November 9th. Again, anticipating if I have questions, basically. You all send everything on over, and if I have questions, we'll see you on the 9th. If not, you will have already had a response to the court, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both. Take care.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Staying on page 4, Judge. In cause number 2021 DCV 1128, Brian K. Holsevel versus Isaiah Vargas. Announcement of counsel, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. John Alfiero from the law firm on behalf of the plaintiff.
And Joshua Murphy on behalf of defendant, Your Honor.
Okay, so give me a second. Am I on the wrong date? I don't even, oh, there it is. It was on the top of the Odyssey list. All right, so you all, had you not already resolved everything? And okay, so what are we waiting on?
I'm just waiting on the check.
Oh, Mr. Murphy.
And Judge, there was some documents that were recently exchanged. I know that we got that. We're requesting check information, so we're hoping within 30 we can get that sent over to counsel and get the dismissal paperwork exchanged by then.
Okay, so I'll have you all set on November 30th at 10 a.m. Cancel out the docket call and jury trial. Okey doke.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, See you then. Bye-bye. Who's next?
Judge, we don't have anybody else yet.